Hello, this is Marvelyn Brown, and today we are going to talk about finding your niche and getting the most from market research. And you'll learn why this is an important step for you to take as you start looking for an audience. So, when you are out there looking for an audience of people that you can talk to about your business, you want to reach out to people who are interested. So the mistake that a lot of new online business owners make is that they think that the entire world is their customer, their ideal customer. And so what we end up doing as new business owners is we end up talking to the wrong people most of the time because we're not qualifying people, we're not selecting a niche, we're not doing our market research. So this course is going to show you how to find your niche and also how to start doing the market research that you need to do in order to really understand who your ideal customers are. So we're going to start with a definition, and the definition is, what is a niche? And we're going to define a niche. And there are two different definitions that I found. There are quite a few definitions online, but these two really spoke to what I want to convey in this video. And one is going to be based on the view that your ideal customers or your prospective customers have when they look at your business. So one is going to be from the customer perspective, and the other one is going to be from the business owner perspective. So we're going to look at the first definition, and that first definition is going to be the way that your potential customers look at you. So basically, the first definition is a specialized segment of the market for a particular kind of product or service. So what that means is most people, when they do their shopping, when they're buying products and services, they want to work with someone who knows what they're doing. So when you think about a specialized segment of the market for a particular kind of product or service, the thing that comes to mind is a specialist, right? Someone who specializes in something. And so when you specialize in something, that means you know what you're doing. You have studied the topic, you have experience with the topic, you have maybe worked with that topic for a number of years, so you have skills that you have developed. You know the best tools and resources and equipment and, the ins and outs of that particular niche or that particular area that you have specialized in. So when you have that area of specialty, your customers, when they're looking in at your business and they're looking at you, they see a specialist. Now, there is also another classification of business, and those are businesses that are kind of the generalist or the like my grandmother used to call it a master, what is it, jack of all trades and a master of none. So what that means is, in these businesses, there are people who are, they're selling products and services, some of which they have never used, some that they have no knowledge about or very little knowledge about, but they're out there trying to make a fast buck. They are doing it all wrong. And so what ends up happening is when you are a new business owner and you don't know, you haven't taken courses and you don't really know anything about online marketing, you end up going out there. And when you're out there trying to just, throw your products and services out on social media and you know nothing about them, you know nothing about your industry or nothing about your niche, nothing about the people that you're trying to sell products and services to, you end up coming across as someone who doesn't really know what they're doing. Now, there are people out there who are really good at fooling you and tricking you into thinking that they know what they're doing when they really don't. So depending on the product and depending on the value of that product, you want to think about, do you want to be perceived as a master, a jack of all trades and a master of none? Or do you want to be perceived as a specialist? So a niche really helps you to be perceived as a specialist because you're going to be zero focused and targeted and ready to, basically address the needs of people in your niche. So that's one definition. Then there's the other definition. And this definition, in my opinion, is from the business owner's perspective. So this is the business owner looking out into his potential customer pool. So out of all those people on the planet that you might have been previously trying to serve, you're gonna narrow that down, and you're gonna look at a specialized section of the population. So a niche is also products, services, and interests that appeal to a small specialized section of the population. So when you think about the world in general, we have things that are common to all of us. As human beings, we're all kind of cut from the same cloth. We have things that bring us together. There are also things that make us unique. They make us uniquely us. And so that is more based on the things that we're interested in. So when you think about the interests that people who would be a great fit for your products or services, when you think about what they're interested in, that's where you want to be. And so when you think about a niche, you can think about it in two different ways: from your customer's perspective and from your perspective as a business owner. From the customer perspective, you definitely want to be known as a specialist or someone that knows what they're doing. And then from your perspective, you want to also be particular about your customers. You don't want to try to reach out to everyone. You want to reach out to that specialized section of the population that ties in with your products, your services, and your interest, or the general direction that you're taking with your business. So now, why is this important? We've kind of talked about why, some of the main reasons that it's important, but this is also a very important reason. This is probably one of the most important reasons, and that you want to select a niche and you want to do your research, is because it shifts your focus. A niche enables you to drill down, to specialize, to narrow your focus, and that will enable you to find your ideal customer. The real ideal customer, not the one that you might have thought was your ideal customer back in the beginning of your business, when you were calling Aunt Sally and Uncle Joe and all your friends, all your coworkers, and you were telling them, giving them a catalog, or giving them a product sample and telling them, hey, I got this product, right? A lot of those people had no idea what your product meant, how it could benefit them. And when you're talking to people, whether you're doing it by phone or email or text or whatever, how can you really fit, what your company and what your product is about in one phone call or one email or one text message, right? You don't have a lot of real estate to work with to really help your potential customers understand, what your company is about. Maybe you have 500 products that you're trying to promote. So then you're not going to be able to tell them about all those different products and what all of those different products do and how those products can help by just sending out a message or making a phone call. So, when you set your business up in a way where you only work with people who are interested, a niche can be a very valuable tool because it helps you to understand who would be interested in your products and services. So once you realize that everyone is not your customer, it's really going to, having a niche is going to help to bring focus to your business that enables you to find your ideal customers. Once you find your ideal customers, then you are going to be able to send the right messages to the right people. You're not going to be wasting your advertising dollars on the wrong people, and your time. When you think about the time that you take to promote a product or service, when you think about, who you really want to work with, do you want to work with someone who hates to see you coming, or when they see your number on their caller ID, they don't even pick up the phone? Do you want to have to twist people's arms in order to get them to buy from you? Those are not the kind of experiences you want for your customers. They're not the experiences that you want for yourself. And so having a niche really helps you to get the right results because you're going to be talking to the right people. So now this is where we're going to focus in. We're going to take that first step and we're going to focus in on your interests. Now, there is a worksheet. I really don't go through the exercise in this particular course, but I have done another course where we go through evaluating your interests and then picking out, 3 areas of interest. So that worksheet is going to be in the resources section of this lesson, and it's also going to have a video that goes with it that will walk you through how to fill out the assessment and narrow down your 3 biggest interest, your biggest areas of interest. So for the purposes of this video, I have chosen photography, fitness, and fashion. And we're going to do some market research. We're going to go out on the internet and do some market research on these 3 areas. So I'm going to pause this video for a moment, and then when I come back, we will work on the internet and do some research. Okay, so now I am back, and I have done a few Google searches just for the sake of time, just so that you can kind of see how this works. So in the first search, I wanted to find industry statistics for 2022 related to the photography industry. And if you notice, or if you remember, in that last slide that we looked at, photography was the first area of interest that I wanted to look at. So here is the search that I did. And when you hover over your search, like, when you select it like this, it's going to, Google will bring up some additional searches that you can use to get even more detailed information. So you can go as far as you need to when it comes to your research. And the thing that you want to do is you want to research the industry. You want to also research niches. So photography is kind of a big umbrella industry, and it's also a niche. It's a very broad niche. And so what you want to do is you want to drill down and you want to find some sub niches under the photography niche. And so first we're going to look at industry statistics. So let's just look at some of the search results and see which one might give us the best information. I'm just going to pick this first one, and let's see what it shows us. So photography in the US, and this is the market size from 2002 to 2027. So they're also projecting into the future, which is also good information for you to have. So understanding the industry is really going to help you. Now, it's not really going to give us anything past 2022 because it looks like you have to pay in order to download the full report. But you can get some really great insight into the industry just by looking at this chart. So it looks like, the industry kind of went up a little bit all the way up through 2018. 2018 and 2019, it held steady. And then, of course, there was a dip in 2020, probably because of the pandemic. So it took a hit during the pandemic, but then it looks like it's back for 2021. And then it looks like it's at about the same level for 2022. And then here's some of the questions that people have been asking about the industry. So you can use some of these questions as, things that you might think about writing about or providing content on, or, questions are really a lot of your, the people in your niche or in your target audience are going to be answering questions. So when they do a Google search, it's basically your customer's way of asking a question. So when we did our Google search, we were asking the question, what are the statistics on the photography industry for 2022? So this is really like a question, right? And so you can also get questions. You can see some of the questions that people are asking in the middle of the search results, kind of, midway, maybe through the page, or right underneath that first primary result. But there's usually a section like this that has questions that people have asked. Next, we're going to go down and just kind of look at some additional information. Now, here's something, the State of the Photography Industry Report. So this is from, not sure what this company is, who this company is, but let's kind of just look at some of the, oh, so you can download the report. Now, I'm not sure if you would have to pay for this, but if this is a free report, you might consider downloading it and taking a look. But there were over 3,000 photographers surveyed in 97 countries around the world. 71% of the responses are from the US, the UK, Canada, and Australia, with the US accounting for over half. So let's see, full-time self-employed, part-time self-employed, hobbyist, student. So this kind of breaks down the experience level. And okay, so photographers and business growth. So this looks like it gives you some pretty decent information. The top 3 specializations for 2022: portraits, landscape, and wedding. About the business of the business, different genres of photography, how photographers find clients. So this might be something that you want to look at. Now, from my perspective, I would be interested in looking at, how photographers acquire new clients, because this is going to tell you maybe some of the struggles and some of the areas that you might be able to help them with if your niche is helping clients get, new clients. If your customers are looking for clients and you assist them with that, then this is going to be some good information for you. So look at this. It looks like 61% rely on word of mouth. And that is the reason that I started this business, because if you can take the word of mouth referrals and put that online, just put that piece online by itself, think about how much growth you could experience in your business. And when we look at some of the other business models like affiliate marketing, print on demand, and some of the other ways that you can generate income, you can actually build a business that doesn't necessarily rely on one particular way to earn. And in this kind of volatile period of time that we're in, that is really a great way to build a business, because when you put all your eggs in one basket, then you are sunk. If, like a pandemic, if something like a pandemic happens, you are sunk if your business relies on face-to-face interactions. So if you can take some of this word of mouth referral, client attraction sources, and allow people to give you a testimonial, for example, that testimonial can be seen by a much wider audience than, that word of mouth thing. Now, the word of mouth thing is great. You want to continue to get that word of mouth recommendation as well. But what if you had a platform that would allow your customers to leave you a glowing recommendation or a testimonial? That is going to go really far. It's going to go a lot further than a word of mouth recommendation. So when you think about that, that's only one way that you can grow your creative business, by, putting it online and having an online avenue or an online option for people to leave testimonials. 40% portfolio website. So then they get new clients from their portfolio website. And that's great, but you need, in addition to that portfolio that shows all of your work, you need a way to also inform and educate your audience. So that can also bring in some additional sources of revenue. Google search, 22%. So when you grow that Google search number, when you start popping up in more search results, that is also a way that you will obtain new clients. So anyway, that is kind of an interesting look. Now, this really gives you a lot of different ways to look at the industry and how it might be growing or declining. what kind of, it looks like here they talk about the various types of equipment. So this is really, I think this is a good article to take a look at. So I'm going to copy this and put it into my notes. So hopefully you are also taking notes. All you have to do is just go up and highlight the site, the URL or the link, and right click on it, copy it, and then you can come back and take a look at this later. So now hopefully you get the gist of the photography industry. Now I'm going to look for the best photography niches. So the best photography niches 2022. And let's see what comes up. Okay, so top photography niches for new photographers in 2022. So now this is going to give you some areas that you can zero in on, that you can focus on, that fall under the photography industry umbrella. So here we go. We're going to scroll through here. Okay, so portrait photography, that's one area. Family photography, wedding photography, events, covering events, newborn photography. That's a really cute picture. Pet photography, wildlife, travel, landscape, still life, fine art, abstract, macro, food photography, sports photography, fashion photography, commercial photography, street photography, photojournalism, stock photography, real estate photography. So these are some specialties, and now you're starting to kind of see some specialty areas that you can drill down into. So, you know, the audience for fashion photography might be different than the audience for commercial photography. The audience for newborn photography, and let me see if I can get back up there. Yeah, the audience for newborn photography is going to be different from the travel photography audience. And so basically what you're doing is you are helping to put your prospective customers into kind of categories so that you can better describe those categories before anyone even does business with you, before anyone shows up on your platform, or anyone tries to buy a product from you. You want to know how to reach out to your audience, and you narrow down your focus and you categorize your potential customers so that you can know how to create content that will make sense to them. So someone who is in the travel photography niche, they're going to have pictures of, you know, their travels, the places that they've been on the map. And they're going to reach out to people who are, you know, wanting to do the same. They're going to show people the world. That's basically what travel photographers do. They show people the world. They give people places to put on their bucket list. They give people places that they can go on vacation, and they show them the best spots, the best restaurants, the best tourist attractions, the scenery. All of those things go into travel photography. But then when you have someone who is specializing in newborn photography, who would be the best fit for newborn photography, right? New parents. So they're going to be reaching out to new parents. They're not necessarily, and you know, new parents can travel as well. After their, you know, children get to be of a certain size, they can travel a lot more easily. So they might want to take the newborn baby with them, but you know, most people when they have a new baby, they kind of stay around the house for a little while. So you want to reach out to the groups of people that make the most sense for your niche and what you are offering. So now hopefully that makes more sense. So now I'm going to take a look at the best fitness niches, and I'm kind of running out of time, so I'm going to make this quick. The 10 fitness niches, and this looks like it is related to, so guess what? I'm not going to be agreeing to your stuff. I'm just going to go somewhere else. So 10 fitness, okay, this is drop shipping. Now we're going to get into things like affiliate marketing, e-commerce, I don't know if I'll cover drop shipping as much, but print on demand has a drop shipping component to it. So we'll probably touch on that. And then also, we want to talk about print on demand because that is the way that a lot of creative people are getting into a totally different area of their business that they can use to earn from additional, streams of income. So let's see if I can find, these are affiliate programs, industry trends. It's not really giving me niches in the fitness industry. Okay, well, so basically what that means is when I can't find a niche that, if I can't find anything in the search result that makes sense, then I am going to try a different search. Now, I'm also going to highlight this and we will see if there's anything there. Untapped fitness niche. Let's see what comes up there. So this is the thing, when you are in a niche, any niche, if you can find a niche that is maybe untapped, just like this article says. Maybe you want to have a niche that there isn't very much competition for. That would, depending on the industry trends and what you find when you do your research on the industry, that might be something that you might want to look at, even though it's not something that a lot of people know about. There may be some opportunities for you to get in, on the, as they say, on the ground floor and become the knowledgeable go to person in that particular niche. But you want to make sure any niche that you select, you want to make sure that it ties in with what you're already doing. So if you already have a creative business and you are, creating products, you want to get something that's related or within that same niche that you can tap into. So let's see if I can, okay, list of untapped niche markets. This still doesn't give me anything on sports, but let's just kind of go with it and see what comes up. Okay, so these are not sports related niches, but it says the fitness niche, renewable energy, security, surveillance, pet care, retro style, maternity products, internet education, automobile accessories, beauty treatments. And so this also gives you the best way to research highly rated untapped niches. So you might want to look at this, and I will certainly put this in even though it doesn't really give us what we were looking for, I'll put this in the list of things that you might want to look at. So, in wrapping this up, this video has been a half an hour. You definitely want to use specific language when you're searching for your niche. So you want to use the current year. You want to say something like maybe the best, or you might want to use a word like untapped. That's really a good one. If you want to find something that, maybe there's not a lot of competition for, you might be able to, like I said, get in on that ground floor. You might want to use words like, I don't know, natural clothing niches. Let's see what happens with that. Best e-commerce niches, best niche to start e-commerce, drop shipping. Yeah, this really isn't gonna, I guess this really isn't gonna give us too much on clothing niches or fashion. I'm finding that clothing and fashion niches, it used to be you could go out and do a search and find, lots of different niches to choose from. This looks like it's really going to make you dig a little bit further, but the information I'm sure is there. The state of fashion in 2022. Let's see what that says. Oh, this is a PDF, and I just downloaded the PDF. I don't want to do that. I don't want to necessarily download something until I have an idea of what I'm looking for. Here is 27 best print on demand niche ideas for your store. So you will be able to find information that will hopefully help you if you're interested in fashion. It looks like the photography niche is more suited for lists of, various niches that are applicable. Let's see, trends that will transform the photography industry. 51 types of photography you should know in 2022. Let's see what this says. Okay, so this gives you a list. So here we go. So this is really what I was looking for with the and let me close this. I hate all these pop-ups, but anyway, we're going to roll with this. We're going to highlight this and we are going to use this. If you're interested in photography, this is what you want to find. You want to find something that gives you a list, and then you want to use Notepad to, and actually it looks like I may have, nope, it doesn't look like I did. So I'm going to copy and paste this into my Notepad, and that's going to give me a list. And then here are some of the terms that I found. When I did some research earlier, I was able to find a site that gave me a list when it comes to fashion. So I'm going to put these, I will put these niches into some kind of document and put it in the resource section. So that way you will be able to do your research on, if you're interested in fashion, if you're interested in the 3 areas of interest that I, talked about in the beginning of this video. I will put some resources in the resource section for you. So thank you for watching this video. I hope that you have learned something today and you understand more about why you want to do your research. You want to find a niche, you want to do the research on that niche, and you want to understand your industry. So any content or any, sources, resources that can give you more information on your market, you definitely want to take a look at that and use that information to learn, who would be a good fit for your product or service. And then you want to start, gearing your market around your niche, using the words, using the phrases, using the jargon that people in your niche will be using when they describe, the things that they are looking for and the questions that they are asking. So again, I'm going to close this out and I will see you in the next lesson. Have a great day.